Good morning, welcome to TERRA at Home. I'm here with Jeff Smith from Lynden Lawn Care, and it is that time of year when people are looking at perhaps, making some changes to their property or a full-on landscaping overhaul, right?
Yep, they've been inside all winter, so
Yes.
it's time to get out and enjoy
they're
the nice
excited.
weather.
Yeah. They're
Yep.
like, okay, what can I do with this now? I have a
Exactly.
little bit of money aside and I'm going to invest
They've been
because
thinking about it all winter.
it's a
so.
big investment.
It is,
And
yep,
it's
it can be
but
lots of money.
It's very, very important, and curb appeal is everything when you're selling your home, right?
Yeah, it can increase the value of your house by almost 20–30% depending on what you do. So it's very important.
Yeah.
Catches the buyer's eye.
Absolutely.
So,
Okay, so let's talk about, you have a series of steps that people should go through when they're choosing a landscaper and some of the questions that we should ask along the way.
There's so many landscapers out there. People often get overburdened with what do I look for? I mean, every corner there's a different landscaper, doing a job. There are a bunch of things you can do to kind of weed out the bad ones and try and find the good ones. The first tip I'll mention, do a Google search. Best thing to look for, find their website, whoever you're interested in or have your eye on, see what their web presence is. So see if they have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Everyone seems to use social media these days, so best place to start.
Sure.
See if they have any reviews, that sort of thing. Good feedback, bad feedback, take it all in and kind of evaluate it. Look at their portfolio, look at the pictures on their website, that sort of thing.
We're lucky now to have social media. You think back in the day before any of this existed, we didn't have a lot to go on, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they could maybe bring pictures to you, but other than that, now it's...
Days of the phone book opening are almost gone. So
unbelievable,
it's changing. The internet's changing the way we do business.
Sure.
So I would say start there. Once you've got a contractor in mind, get a couple quotes. So there's no shame in getting 2, 3, even 4 quotes. If a contractor finds out you're getting other quotes, that's not a problem. I mean, we know people do it, and it's totally fine. Often you want to make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Contractors can be different. They use different materials, different ways of doing the job.
So then you can ask the questions and say, well, why would someone quote me only this?
Exactly.
And you're saying this. It's like, well, guess what? Your job is going to be well done.
Exactly, and that's the thing. And then you can compare kind of a few different options, and who knows, you might get new inspiration from one contractor that you didn't from another.
True.
So
that's
a big thing.
Okay.
Leading off of this too, you want to see how helpful and responsive they are. Realistically, everyone calls in the spring and they want the job done right away, and landscapers are overwhelmed with calls in the spring. They should still be timely on a response, whether it be email, phone, doesn't matter. They should be timely. Ideally within a day you want to call back. How long is it taking to get your quote? I always try and inform my customers, I'm 2 or 3 days right now, or however long it is to get a quote, so at least they know when to expect it.
Okay.
If you have to leave 30 phone calls to get a hold of them, it's probably a red flag.
You might want to move on.
Exactly, and I know everyone gets busy, but that's our business. We're used to that. So, and how interested they are in the job that you need done. If you want a patio around a pool and they start trying to suggest 9 other things, that can be a bit of a, they're trying to suggest things you may want too, but again, there's a line where it's kind of invasive, or, they need to be in touch with what you want.
Sure, and eventually, maybe down the road, you can say, you know what, maybe next year I can go to this part of the garden and work on that. But right now, this is my most important priority.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, the next thing, once you have this contractor in mind, you want your proof of insurance and your proof of WSIB coverage for the employees.
Now, this is an interesting point. We were talking before off camera. So I would have never thought to ask for that.
Yep. It's something a lot of people feel like they can't ask for, or they shouldn't ask for.
Okay.
Any contractor should be able to provide a certificate that shows their coverage for insurance and a certificate that shows that they're covered by WSIB. So this is protecting the employees that are working on your property in case they get hurt. Because if they drop a stone on their foot and hurt themselves, this could come back on you as the homeowner if they're not covered.
Wow, and you're saying majority of well-reputable companies are covered.
Absolutely,
but it's still worth asking.
It is. It's a law requirement in Ontario, so you have to be covered by WSIB if you're running a landscaping company.
Sure.
But it's important because guys try and circumvent the system and don't have the coverage, and it's really important to.
And we've all heard those horror stories, right? So
exactly.
these are really important points that you're presenting to us.
And anyone that's doing landscaping should be able to provide those for you.
Right.
So if there's resistance, that's a red flag as well.
Okay. Okay.
So another good point is see if they're in any landscape organizations. There's a whole bunch of different areas: landscape construction, landscape maintenance. The biggest one is Landscape Ontario. Okay. You can go to landscapeontario.com, do some research on the landscaper, see if they're listed there. It's not the end all, but it does. Landscape Ontario provides a learning environment for the landscaper.
So they're upgrading their education and,
exactly.
and growing with the changes that come, right?
Yep, they host events where landscapers can not only communicate with each other, but also learn and kind of further develop, and they follow a code of ethics through Landscape Ontario. So yes, so and there's a bit of, if you have any questions or concerns, you can also contact Landscape Ontario directly. So yeah, so
good points. Now, you know, I was saying that you know, I worked with you a little bit out of the gun and with a partner of yours that were able to come in and provide my landscaping last year. So I went through all this stuff last year. So I really do understand. It is exciting to see how your garden changes and adapts over a period of time.
Exactly.
So you want to make sure there's some guarantees there as well as the years come
Absolutely.
forward.
There's always warranties that are provided with hardscaping projects and even with plant material that's planted. So you want to find out what those are. Ask the contractor right up front, you know, do you provide a warranty? What does it entail? Is there a warranty on the plant material? What does that entail? You know, do I have to pull it up and then you come and replace it, or do you fully replace it? Warranties vary with different companies. So that's something you want to find out right off the bat.
Because as we know from last winter, some plant life didn't survive, and it was more of a deep freeze, a couple layers deeper.
Exactly.
That can change, you know, the foundation underneath as well, right?
Yep, exactly. With a patio, hard winters like that, where we have a lot of freeze thaw and heave them, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You just want to know you're going to be supported down the road.
Well, we see what happens to the roads, right?
Exactly.
And our sidewalks and everything.
Exactly.
So it's a given. It's
no
just
different.
about the follow-up.
Yep,
right?
exactly. And again, with any landscape project, you want to make sure there's going to be follow-up support as well. So not only are they here to do the job and then you'll never talk to them again, but if you have questions or concerns, or you know, this shrub that they planted has turned into, you know, a great big headache for you because it's, you know, right beside the shed and you can't get the door open. You want to be able to contact someone and follow up, be it a year or two down the road.
And again, really, you know, I've noticed with me, it's word of mouth as well. So I have neighbors come around, and they did have various quotes, but they like what happened to my property. They like how it looks.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's another thing you can ask contractors for. It's very, very important with landscape construction projects. If you're looking to put in a pool with a nice interlock surround, ask for references and job site visits. A lot of our customers, they'll ask us for those, and we'll say we have a whole bunch that you can call, even go see the job, so that you know what to expect when yours is completed. You can go see it firsthand, what's been done by the contractor before.
I love it. Great tips. Thank you so much, Jeff, for coming on the show.
No
Jeff
problem.
from Lynden Lawn Care.
Absolutely.
Good stuff, and very exciting to get our properties landscaped. You just have to make sure you follow some of those tips you
Thanks for having me.
Very good.
Appreciate it.
All right, more TERRA at home right after this quick break.
Live color fully at TERRA, where color lives.
Heritage perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're at the Cheese Shop on Locke this morning, which is full of all kinds of wonderful things, including, of course, cheese and hot sauce. So we're here with Brodie Dawson from Dawson's Hot Sauce.
Hi.
And, well, hi. I think we're just kind of set up shop here. And we want to kind of tie this in with our hot and saucy weekend that's coming up at TERRA next weekend. And it kind of works out really well. So it's all about all the cool hot pepper plants that we bring into our stores. And of course, you use peppers to make all these wonderful sauces of yours. And you're going to be at our Burlington location and our Watertown location.
That's correct. We have the 2 locations that we're going to be with you guys for the event, and we're really excited because we're pretty much local to those areas.
Yes.
So based out of Hamilton, Burlington is right next door, and so is Watertown. So.
All right, so how did this come to be for you? How did you get into hot sauce? Obviously, you like hot stuff.
Yeah.
You're one of those guys that likes to sweat while you're eating.
I just love condiments, and
Okay.
there's always like a challenge when you're eating something spicier. It's a little harder to
Yes.
work with, but it's really rewarding. So when I was younger, like I said, big into condiments, and
Yes.
then as I got older, I kind of got more refined for spice. Really
Right.
started enjoying it. So I started making this chipotle sauce, which now we sell. And this is like maybe early 2013, late 2012.
Okay.
Kind of got into it. And then slowly, as you started making stuff, you started giving it to your friends and family.
Right.
And the feedback got really positive. So eventually, out of nowhere, we had these 3 sauces that we sell currently. And then we just decided to go for it. Started
Amazing.
making it, contacting local stores, finding providers, people that were interested in it, like boutique places like the Cheese Shoppe and Locke, like we are right now.
Sure.
And the reception so far has been really positive.
That's pretty cool. And it's funny, some people say, I just can't do hot sauce. I can't do it. But it seems to be, in, I guess, the Western Hemisphere, I mean, we're not as exposed to it as much, right?
Sometimes a little babyish when it comes to it, yeah.
Yeah. But I find, for me anyway, it's been an acquired taste. So slowly throughout my life, I've become a little braver and braver, and now I can, I'm not sure anywhere near your level.
More people are doing kind of what I hope we're achieving is by making sauces that aren't necessarily just to kill you with heat. They're supposed to be flavor. So these are all flavor-based sauces with different degrees of heat. So we have a hotter one, we have a milder one. The milder one's great because a lot of people I'm friends with also can't handle heat.
Right.
So I give them that one. They can cook with it, and it kind of warms them up.
Right.
Not to be a pun, into the other categories of hot sauce.
Okay, so if this is your milder one then.
Yeah, that's our garlic jalapeno sauce.
I see. Okay, so jalapenos is the base for this one.
That's the lead pepper, yeah.
Okay.
We put chilies in it as well, which we have out of the table, but not as a lot, just enough to give it a little extra kick.
Okay.
So this one's really pleasant. It's a really heavy garlic flavor. The jalapenos kind of lead the taste. We put some poblanos in there as well, which are a really mild hot pepper.
Good.
And then it's a nice, rich flavor. Great for cooking, but it's not too hot. But it makes you feel strong if you aren't used to hot, because it probably feels really hot.
Right, you're like, look at me, I'm having hot stuff right now. Maybe that's where I'm at, and I think I'm brave.
A lot of people think I'm crazy when I say it's mild, but then a lot of people that I eat lots of hot food with think it's no big deal, really easy.
So then you would graduate slowly, you said, to this one?
Yeah, this one's, so these 2 kind of function differently. This is our pear chili sauce, so it's a fruit base. And I find that the fruit base doesn't really hold off the heat for too long.
Okay.
So if you're going to eat it, it's going to get hot really quickly.
Okay.
Whereas the chipotle sauce is a lot more rich, it's a lot more complex, it's a slower burn, everything kind of picks up over a period of time.
So don't be just shaking it in your mouth for a while and then I'll...
Well, yeah, you'll have it, and then for the next 30 seconds, you'll feel it constantly growing, as opposed to this one where after maybe 3 seconds, you've kind of maxed out where you're going to be at.
And that's the thing. So people, as you were mentioning, people talk about hot sauces and the, just the benefits of heat. But really, as you say, they're the benefits of flavor here. So I tend to really love the flavor of chipotle. I love that smokiness, real, but I guess if you use it in moderation, you can still get that flavor from it without getting too much.
Yeah, and this one has that chipotle taste, that smoked, because a chipotle is a pecan smoked red jalapeno. So it's like a prepared pepper. It's not a naturally occurred pepper.
Right, I see.
So that's where you get that smoky flavor from.
Right,
and
exactly.
it's a beautiful flavor, and it's really nice, and it's kind of throws some people off because they don't like the smoke. But we have a really clean chipotle sauce. It doesn't have that dusty or ashy kind of taste, which a lot of smoked sauces can kind of have. And it's not synthetic either, so it doesn't taste kind of fake.
Wow.
So it's really nice, and it's easy to cook with, and it's not too hot, so you can actually enjoy the flavor, like we said before.
So this must have been an interesting chemistry for you to kind of come up with the perfect balance, though, right? So because you are trying, and it's interesting. It's almost like having a glass of scotch or a glass of wine. You're still tasting. You have tasting notes where you have that sort of upfront flavor, as you mentioned, and then things are either rounding out or heating up or whatever as you make through.
Yeah, they all have their own different journey. And finding a balance is very difficult because some of these recipes are at their 30th trial.
I can just imagine. Did you have your friends all sitting around when you were getting them to test
They've
this
been
stuff?
my guinea pigs since day one, trust me. Since over 2 years ago when I first started just developing them.
They're probably like, oh, I can't do
have
any
enough
more
of this
today.
in my fridge.
Yeah, exactly. So I think what ties in nicely, as we mentioned with TERRA, is that you'll be at our locations, and how are you going to present these sauces to people? People get to try them.
Yeah, that's what we like to do is we like to put them out in ramekins, just like little bits, and then we do a really basic sampling program with like little tortilla chips.
Okay.
So the tortilla chips don't have a lot of flavor. They're like kind of like just the old playing card trick. So you try a little bit, and then you taste the sauce, and that helps just fight off some of the heat.
Okay, that makes sense. So again, if you are graduating slowly through it, rather than just go from 0 to 100, you are able to get into tasting the other ones.
Yeah, and it's hard to convince people that don't really eat a lot of hot food to try a spoon of just hot sauce or something, right? So there needs to be some sort of way for them to try it without just having pure hot sauce.
That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking there's no way that I would be just trying like a spoon of hot sauce, as you said. So the chip makes it easy to...
It's like a negotiating chip.
Sure. I could see that. Yeah. So that actually makes for a fun day for people. So when you do come into TERRA and you are interested, and people love growing their own hot peppers in their backyards, right? So do you do that too?
I don't have a backyard, but I use my windowsill, and like all summer long, it's just there's like jalapenos and little chili peppers growing in there. So
okay, so let's talk about some of the hotter ones out there, because I mean we know that we've had some of the hottest peppers in the world in our TERRA stores. So
we don't typically dance with those fellows.
Because you kind of can't go there yet, right? Maybe you will someday?
I'm sure we'll have like the old like suicide sauce in our line eventually.
Sure.
But we're kind of scared of those because other people are scared of them. We're trying to introduce people that are into hot sauce,
well,
like elementary.
Have skulls on the bottles and things, right?
Those are fun too, though, right? It's fun to have like.
Oh, it's awesome. But it does scare people.
The hottest one we use is the Scotch bonnet.
Okay.
It's like a really nice like Caribbean pepper from Jamaica. Right? These little red fellas here.
Look how innocent they look.
They are not. They're not even comfortable in themselves. Look how awkward they look.
I know they are. They do look very awkward.
Like jalapenos grow like so smooth and like regular, and then these things are like shriveled up when they're fresh.
So is it true are the seeds hotter, or is it the white part inside the pepper? What's the hottest part of that little pepper?
I find everything behind the stem is the hottest.
Oh,
like
so basically the whole
I can
thing.
cut that part off there and it'll be somewhat edible, but if you even like put your tongue to the rim, it's the hottest.
You're kidding.
With these ones at least. I'm not sure if that's for every pepper, but we deal with these a lot, so
you know.
That's kind of how it feels for us.
And you have to watch touching them and touching your eyes and
gloves. Always wear protection there.
Right.
If you're using the really, really hot peppers, it's you should wear like a respiratory mask.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Dangerous
serious.
weapons.
It's like laboratory
fresh vegetables, right? Brodie, thank you so much. And again, Hot and Saucy, of course, is coming up next weekend at our TERRA locations, and you'll be at the Burlington, the Waterdown stores.
Correct.
And tempting people with your hot sauces.
They'll love it.
I can't wait
excited.
to try. Very good. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And thanks to the Cheese Shoppe on Locke, folks, as well. We'll be back with more TERRA at home.
Live color fully at TERRA, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're back with Chef Mark in our TERRA kitchen here this morning, and I see that we are about to make fish tacos.
We're gonna make a fish taco.
Love fish tacos, one of my favorite things. So yours are a little different though.
Are they?
Well, yeah, because I've never had
this.
You deep fried that guy.
Yes. So instead of using your flour tortilla, I really, really like corn tortillas.
Me too.
You know, I just like the flavor of them. They tend to be a little bit lighter than the flour.
Yep. They taste more authentic, actually.
They do taste more authentic. Now, flour tortillas are great if you want that soft taco. This is not great soft. You do need to kind of cook these.
Yes, you do.
They taste
something's not quite right.
Gritty and grainy. That's what it is. But this is what your corn tortilla would look like. And all I did is I put on some oil, and of course we checked it. And a few weeks ago I told you how to check oil, where we put the wooden spoon in there, and if you see the bubbles around, then you know it's ready.
Right.
So we did that. Then I took the shell, I folded it in half. I used my tongs, and I sunk it in. And then I just put the tongs in the middle to keep it open, so that while it's frying, you get that gap. take it out, and set
because
it
I've done the
aside.
corn tortilla where I've just fried it a little bit flat in the pan, just a little bit, but like, that is different. That's going to be, it's going to have a lot of flavor.
It's got a lot of flavor, and you know what I like about this too? It's got a different shape. It doesn't look uniform. It doesn't look like it came out of a package and has been knocked off millions of these things.
Exactly.
This is, you know, this is homemade.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, cool.
So we have the taco. We have fresh tilapia fillet. Okay, now it doesn't really matter. You can use tilapia. You can use sole would work well as well. Haddock. I like tilapia, especially with this, because we're doing I did a mango chutney here. So in the mango chutney, we added some red onion, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of lime, zest and juice, okay, a little bit of sugar, and I used a white balsamic vinegar in here because the white balsamic has that, or the white condiment vinegar has a little bit of residual sugar in there, so it'll add some sweetness, and then of course the mango. And then, because we got the hot and saucy coming up, I put in some chilies, and that'll give it a little bit of a bite.
Ah, so it works out well. Yeah, so we have a hot and saucy event coming up here at TERRA, and again, that's when we release some of the hottest pepper plants that you can buy, so you can grow your own super hot peppers in your backyard. So it's going to be a really fun event, so you have to check it out.
And you know what? That's fantastic, because when you grow your own peppers like that, you know, what I do with mine, if I use a certain amount throughout the year, whatever I have left, I just take it out, put it onto a tray, dry them out in your garage, and then you can crush them down. And you got crushed chilies, but they're homemade crushed chilies, and they got and you know the heat from the pepper you grew.
Right, exactly, and nothing's going to waste either.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a little bit of a batter here. This is what we're going to coat our fish in. So I have buttermilk in here, a couple eggs, some flour, a little bit of baking soda, salt, and pepper. And we just whisked it all together, and this is the batter that we're going to use for the fish. Okay? So we're going to take our fish, and I'm going to cut it into strips. Now, a lot of times you can, if you make a taco shell large enough, you can do it as a whole piece. But it's probably easier for you to deal with.
That would be some hefty taco.
It would be some hefty taco. So I'm just going to trim that out.
Okay.
And then we're going to put this into strips. And this is what we're going to batter. That way you can layer it in there, and it's a little bit easier for you to work with.
It almost seems like it's more with the type of salsa that you made with the mangoes and that in there. It almost seems like it's more a Caribbean type fish taco, right? It has that sort of
and that's what I was looking for when I picked the fish. I decided, you know, we're going to go with the Caribbean fish, so I'm going to use, you know, something along those lines as far as the salsa goes.
And again, we're seeing so many different types of fish tacos out there right now. So again, it's like trying to find some variants and flavors and styles, because obviously you have them grilled as well, right? Versus
Yep, you can have them grilled. Yep. So this one is, you know, this is a little bit, it's not the healthiest because you're deep frying it, but it tastes good.
Yes, we've made note of that, Mark.
It tastes good. So I'm going to salt and pepper that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to throw it into our batter. And you got to coat them really well.
Okay.
So the batter that you're looking for, you don't want it too thick, you don't want it too thin. You're going to have to fiddle with that, okay, until you get the right consistency, until you're happy with it.
Right.
You do want it to coat the fish, but you don't want it to be so doughy that when it comes out of the fry, you've lost that fish.
And we've all had that experience, right, where we've had fish like that. It's like, why is it that I just taste batter? And the fish almost gets lost in there.
Gets lost in it, yeah. So what I've done here, and again, this will come with practice and making batters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you coat this fish, like I just did, and I pick it off and you can see it running off a little bit, that's what I'm looking for. I don't want this to stick completely because then it'll be too thick. Okay. Okay? So the fact that it's running off lets me know that it's just light enough that it's coated. Okay. However, it's not so thick and so floury that it's going to bind up and
so you're really trying to get that right consistency first before even playing around.
Again, you know, that comes down to personal preference. I don't like really thick batters, especially you know you already have this that's deep fried. So so we're going to try to keep it on the lighter style. Now, I also have an avocado over there, so we're going to add that into.
Where are you putting that?
We're going to just slice and put some fresh avocado after.
That's
perfect. Yeah, fresh avocado.
I thought you were going to deep fry the avocado too.
No.
Like, Mark, this is getting a little much.
You lose all that.
Deep
fry it all. That's right. And we're going to throw our fish in, and you don't want that oil too hot, but you do want it hot enough that it's not absorbing. So we're going to cook the fish completely in the oil.
Okay, so when you are deep frying fish like that, I mean, small strips, we know fish cooks quickly. How do you know? How can you tell? You can't really like be breaking it apart, and how do you know it's done?
You can break one apart.
Yeah?
Just eat one. Cut it in half, take a look at it.
Do what you have to do, right?
Exactly. It's
because you want it to be cooked.
You know, when you're battering stuff though, you do have the luxury of it. It will retain the moisture because it's battered. So you're not just throwing in fish. It's got a coating on it that's going to help retain moisture, not overcook, and because the batter is going to absorb a little bit of oil, it's always going to taste juicy no matter what you do anyway. So
it's better to err on the side of caution and make sure it's cooked.
Yeah, make sure it's cooked.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right,
and of
that's
course,
fair.
you're looking for the freshest fish that you can find, and you
Yes.
talk to the people at the fish.
That's key.
At the grocery store.
Yeah,
and the
don't mess
fish
around with
counter.
fish.
No.
Make sure it's good.
If it smells
Or
like
you'll
fish,
never
it's
eat it
no
again.
good.
That's right. That's true, right? Fish is not supposed to smell fishy.
Fish is not supposed to smell
That's a
fishy.
good tip.
But so we have some of that in there. Now it's
Okay.
not going to fit all, so we're going to do it in a couple batches.
Okay.
So-
And it's getting, the color, it's getting golden and brown
Yeah.
pretty quickly, so.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So what we're going to do is we'll finish cooking this. We'll go to take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll put these all together with the slices of avocado in there. This is going to be good. Good flavors. All right, we'll be right back.
I am a truth seeker.
A storyteller.
A dedicated volunteer.
I am a caring neighbor.
A customer's best friend.
And a client advocate.
I am a survivor.
A social media junkie.
A proud father of 4 and problem solver.
I am the Hamilton Spectator.
I am the Hamilton Spectator.
I am the Hamilton Spectator.
I am.
We are the Hamilton Spectator.
Live color fully at Terra, where color lives.
Good morning. Welcome back to Terra at Home. I'm back with Chef Mark from La Piazza Allegro Restaurant in Hamilton. We have cooked all of our fish. You have a whole lot for 2 shells. So.
I cooked a whole bunch. Well, I cooked that was that one fillet. So when
That's
you
a
add
lot.
Yeah, well, once you add that batter and everything
Right.
to it, it's going to grow
Awesome.
quite a bit, but there's extras. You can put, bites out there or just make more shells.
Absolutely.
So, took it out, put it on some paper towel, just dried it off, soaked up some of the oil that would be there.
Okay.
And then, this is the part where we're going to put as much fish into one taco as we possibly can.
Oh my.
So there we go.
This looks dangerous.
There's another
So
one.
yeah, there you want to cook a lot if you're shoving that much in there.
Oh, yeah.
But this is good. Again, we see so many times where there's so many different types. You can have the grilled. I've had grilled where that's what I make at home with the slaw, right, inside of them. So this is a whole other take with this mango salsa again with some heat to it, which is such a perfect combination.
Just a little bit of spice, and add those chilies, give it a bite, because you do have a little bit of sweetness in there, so that's going to balance it out.
It's going to balance it out.
I mean, you can add a good amount of peppers to that.
And just a reminder on that, our Hot and Saucy event is coming up next weekend, so that's May 2nd and 3rd. So come to our Terra location, then it's just going to be so much fun. It's just all about the hot pepper plants and the release, and of course, that whole feeling of spring and getting out in the garden. And
that's right.
It's going to be a fun event.
So we're going to put this on here, and then we have some avocado, fresh avocado.
Again, for a recipe as well, terragreenhouses.com. And you can, again, just experiment, right?
Just experiment.
Do what you like.
Do what you like, yeah. Try it out. Don't be afraid. It's just food. That's the beauty.
You make it easy.
I've been doing it in a while
look good,
now,
and you know what you're doing, and you're not afraid to experiment.
No.
Because you know flavor combinations very well, so it's helpful.
We do
Awesome.
that. We're going to take some garlic
a little bit
chives
of
that we
that.
have, some fresh herbs.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll garnish
Thank you,
that
Chef
up.
Mark. Looks awesome. There you go. Try it out
Fish
this
tacos.
weekend. Very good. All right, that's it for now. Have a good one.